Happy Monday, everyone. Just a couple of days left in 2024. So today I'm going to continue the series that I started during the live stream on Friday on some of the basics for beginners, because we're coming up on January the 1st, and that's when everybody starts their new year, new me stuff. And I figure if I can help one person out with their start on the carnivore diet, then this has all been worthwhile. But hello everyone, I am Semiretiredbob. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. I'm hoping to get this walk in before it rains, but we'll see. The rain is just off the radar screen. It's on the other end of town right now. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. What you're watching is you're watching me walk. I know that doesn't seem super exciting, but if you figure 2.5 years ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand up for a couple minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day regardless of the weather. It starts to make a little more sense. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here as well. It means a lot to me that you spend just a few moments of your day with me. I would like to ask everyone to help me out. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Drop down in the comments and say, "Hi, Bob." If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. All these things are absolutely free and help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I'm 61 years old, and I'm doing things I couldn't do when I was 40, like out here walking every day. I thought I'd take just a little bit of a different route today. We're still going up that long hill that I start with. I'm not speed walking up it today. I do want to make one quick comment. I've talked about this before, but I got a comment that I feel needs addressing. I probably don't say this often enough, because all you guys leaving comments, I do read them all. I put a little heart by them if I've read them, and I hit the thumbs up if I agree with most of what you said. I don't often comment back because I don't know what to say. I occasionally say hi. I occasionally put a little thumbs up or a wave at you. But I want you to know that I do read all of your comments. But I thought we'd talk today as we walk. I'm up at the top of that hill now. Even not walking fast, you can tell that's quite the hill. Is it a Colorado-sized hill? No, but it's certainly big enough. A lot of traffic in the neighborhood today. Normally we turn down that way to go around the big block. We're going to go on up this way for now. But as everybody gets ready to start their New Year's carnivore diet, because remember, January is World Carnivore Month. So to all my keto friends out there, consider going full carnivore just for January. Who knows? You might find you like that even better than keto. But if not, that's okay too. As James always says, a friend of mine over at Ready Set Keto, he knows himself. He knows he feels a little better doing 100% carnivore, but he knows for him keto is more sustainable. So as I always say on this channel, whatever works for you is what you should be doing, regardless of what everybody else says. And that brings us to today's topic. The hardest part about carnivore isn't really the carnivore itself. It's breaking the sugar addiction. Now, I know some people just jump right in and never look back. But most of us have trouble with that one thing that we always like to have. And you're going to hear, as you research this, a lot of people talking about, and I talk about them too, intermittent fasting. 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day. Eat in a 6-hour eating window, so you're doing an 18-6. There's lots of different ways to do this. If you're just getting started, don't worry about any of that stuff. All of that stuff will happen in time. For now, just concentrate on eating the right foods. You're coming from, especially if you're coming from a standard American diet, where you have to eat every 2 or 3 hours, even if it's just a little snack. It's hard to break that urge to keep snacking, even though you're not really hungry. So my suggestion is make some boiled eggs, or in my case, I actually buy already boiled and peeled eggs. They're a little on the pricey side, but save a ton of work and time. And they're not horribly expensive. They work out to about twice what a dozen eggs costs to get 2 6-packs of pre-boiled, pre-peeled eggs. But then if you consider the time it takes, plus the frustration that I always have with peeling boiled eggs, it's not a bad way to go. Now, I know, having said that, I'm going to get 15 or 20 people drop down in the comments and say, well, if you do this, your eggs will peel better. I've tried them all. It doesn't really work for me. I have, 5 thumbs on each finger. But since other people might want that information, feel free to drop down in the comments and tell everybody how you peel your eggs. Maybe they'll find something that works better for them. But I just buy them pre-boiled and pre-peeled. That's the easiest for me. But anyway, keeping eggs in the fridge. Go ahead and pre-cook up some hamburger patties. Leave them just a little bit less done than you normally like them. Put them in the fridge. And then if you get hungry for something to munch on, grab 2 or 3 or 4 of them, put them on a plate, throw them in the microwave for a minute to warm them up, which will finish cooking them to the desired doneness. And there you go. Keep some bacon already pre-cooked in the fridge. And then if you get snacky, grab a handful of bacon. If you like it cold, eat it cold. If you don't, again, throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds or so just to heat it up a little bit, and then go to town on it. Have fun. Like I said, 1 meal a day, which is what I've been doing for a couple of years now. It didn't happen overnight. I was eating, when I first started the carnivore diet, I was eating 3-4 times a day to start with. Because that's what I was used to. Now we're at the end of my street to a T intersection. So we're going to go up this way just a little bit. And don't worry, when I get to where I'm going to turn around, I'll turn the camera around so you guys can see this end of the neighborhood that we don't get to watch very often. But like I said, I was eating 3-4 times a day to start with. And then gradually, as you keep eating the carnivore foods, and you avoid snacking on the crap you're not supposed to have on a carnivore diet, one morning you're going to wake up and say, oh, I'm just not hungry. I don't want breakfast today. So you wait until noon, or even, 11, 10, whatever. But you wait a while. And then slowly over time, whatever your body tells you is going to be your natural eating, your natural way of eating and frequency of eating will happen all by itself. You don't have to, feel bad about just eating. Because I think the number one mistake people make multiple times, even after you've been on this journey for a while, is you're not eating enough. That's always my first thought when somebody says, well, I've been trying this and it's not working. My first thought is always, you're probably not eating enough. So don't feel bad about just eating. Because if you're coming from the standard American diet and you've been eating, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day of all the carby, sugary junk, eating 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, but without the carbs, you're going to start to feel healthier very soon. And soon enough, you won't need to put food in your face quite that often. But if the eating 3 or 4 or 5 times a day sticks with you for a couple of months, don't worry about it. You can trust that your body's going to heal, your body's going to adapt, and without eating the carbs, you will start to see some of the progress you want to see. And I found this, if you can't tell that I'm going down quite a sharp little hill here. When I get to the bottom, I'm going to flip the camera around and go back up the hill to head back to the house. It's part of why I've come this way a couple of times, but I have kind of avoided this area because the hill is quite steep. And it hurt me to walk on it. It doesn't hurt anymore. Although it's going down far enough at a steep enough angle that I can feel just a little bit of pressure on my knees. It doesn't hurt, but I can tell they're taking just a little bit more pressure than they usually do. But it's a nice day for a walk. It's about 38 degrees out here. It's supposed to deteriorate rapidly. It's supposed to rain for a good portion of the day. And then sometime this evening, there's a chance that it's going to flip over to some freezing rain and then some snow. And then there's snow in and out of the forecast pretty much for the next week. And come next Monday night, it's supposed to get down to 0. Long range forecast can change, but we'll see. It's not going to stop me from walking. I'm still going to be out here. I can go that way and back up to the house, but I think I want to turn the camera around to show you this hill. And I'm going to walk back up this hill because it's not as long as the hill I start with, but it's quite a bit steeper. So I'll have just a few more thoughts on this when we get back to the house. But for now, let's go ahead and listen to some Christmas music.
Cut the music. Thank you. It's starting to rain pretty good out here, so I decided to go ahead and do the finishing up of my video as I'm walking back down that long hill that I walk up in the morning. You guys have seen this hill before. But I know one of the first things somebody else is going to say is that, well, Bob, if you eat all that food all day long, your insulin's never going to go down and you're never going to lose weight or fat. I don't believe that. Now, if you're waking up in the middle of the night to eat some eggs, then maybe you might not have as good a fat loss as you would want. The reason your insulin doesn't get down far enough for you to actually start oxidizing fat off your body when you're on the standard American diet is because you've overloaded it with carbs. Yes, there is such a thing as gluconeogenesis. And yes, protein does put a bump in your insulin levels. But if you're not getting up in the middle of the night to stuff more protein down your face, I think you'll still start to see some results. Now, ultimately, you will want to get it down to, eventually, a 6 or 8 or even 10-hour eating window to give your insulin levels all the time they need to drop back down. But, you know, I hate to keep using Rick as an example, but he's the best example out there. If you guys haven't seen Charger Mopar's channel, you should. Just to go take a quick look at him. He's been doing carnivore for 40 plus years. I think it's 41 or 42 now. But he eats anywhere, depending on how hungry he is, from 3.5 to 4 pounds. Some days when he's hungry, all the way up to 5.5, sometimes even 6 pounds of meat. Hi there, little buddy. That's okay. You can come say hi. Yes. Now get back to your walk before it rains too hard. Beautiful big dog. She's having trouble keeping him on the straight and narrow, so I had to let him come say hi for a minute. But Rick eats a ton of meat. Not a ton, of course, but a lot. And look at how thin he is. So you can't tell me that, now granted, he's a very active person. He does a lot of hard manual labor. But still, he's a small, skinny guy, and he eats every bit as much as Dr. Baker does. And look at him. So don't be afraid. Oh, well, I was watching this carnivore influencer and they said I have to just eat 1 meal a day. No, especially not when you're starting out. If you're hungry, especially when you're starting out, eat something. Just don't eat chips or cookies or cakes or any of that other crap. Eat carnivore foods. You know, you can keep anything in the fridge and it'll last for several days. You know, even if you're a chicken person, keep a few pieces of pre-cooked chicken in the fridge. Whatever kind of food you like. And when you get those cravings for the crappy sugar stuff, just eat something else. And one other tip that I've learned from Larry over at Carnivore Quest, he said this a couple of years ago, and it's still true today. If you look in the fridge at all of your pre-made carnivore foods and go, I'm hungry, but not for any of that, then you're not really hungry. You're bored. So go ahead and distract yourself. Pinch of salt, read a book, go for a quick walk, do whatever. And if you're really hungry, the stuff you have pre-cooked in the fridge will look pretty doggone good to you. Hopefully some of what I said today made sense. We've got one more day before the new year, so hopefully the rain stops in time tomorrow for me to get out and get another walk in. If not, I'll probably just sit down at the computer and make a video for tomorrow, because I hate to miss New Year's Eve. But that's what I've got for you today, folks. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.